Hello, hello, hello. Can anybody hear me out there in YouTube? Am I coming in loud and clear? That's what I want to know. Yes, the one, two, three. Hello, everybody. It says that I am live. I can't see myself. I got 14 people. We are live. Oh, here we come. I see. We coming. All right. It's a delay. It scared me. This technology is something
But we
else.
tackle it
I'm
though.
trying to keep up.
We tackle it.
I'm telling you, we really do. Like, you gotta really pay. All right, I see us. We are live. I see us. Everybody should be able to hear us. We see you. Yes, you are live, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Lenora's in the house. Tanya, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Helen always showing up and showing out. Hold on just a moment. I'm adding my moderators. I want to thank them for being aboard today. My mod squad, Karen. Hello, we appreciate you being here. Karen, all the love. Lenora is in the house. We appreciate you being here. Hey, Anita, glad to see you. As promised, we are here with the beautiful LaDawn. She is sharing her journey with us today. It has been something else from my perspective. I tell you, this girl is moving faster than lightning, y'all. I'm telling you, she's making big moves. She's taking risks. And, you know, as we talked about, freedom ain't always free, right? You got to put a little work in. So today we are going to interview Dawn. We have some questions from her. We will also be taking questions from viewers. My mods, if I miss anything, please pull my coattail so we make sure we can get these questions in. We're looking to go an hour, as we usually do on Sunday. Before we get into the interview, we got to get it into this, and I don't have my visuals, but my new and my true. Thank you for rocking with us, sister. Thank you for rolling with us. Thank you for being on board, being here today, supporting me and supporting the brand. I appreciate you. I also want to let YouTube members know that you do have a video in your dashboard right now. So take a look at that. Okay. So as you all come in, hello, Kimberly, Tina, Cynthia. We got people coming in. We have 23 souls rocking on board with us right now, including my mama. She's tuned in. Hey, Darla. Hey, Shirley. We're going to give them a minute to get in before we start. We don't want to miss any of this. You understand me? Any of it. Any of it. It has been quite a journey for Miss LaDawn, and I appreciate her sharing her time, her energy, her effort, her story with us today. I'm sure we all things from her journey. Um, and also, she's going to share some insights on her challenges. Oh, I'm sorry. My foot got too comfortable. Her challenges and how she overcame those, the ones that she is still working on. We're always a work in progress, right? But it's about just yielding to the wind, which LaDon seems to be doing very well. So let's get into it. I want to get my questions ready. Hi, everybody who just joined. I appreciate it. Greta, thank you for rolling with us. Greta's in the house. 24 people. So let's get started. You know I will, Tanya. I appreciate it. My mods, I appreciate you being. So let's get into it, LaDon. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you're doing this today. It means everything to me, to us, to the community. We have had a lot of interviews on here, and I look forward to all of them, but especially this one because you have done so much in a short period of time. I've watched you evolve. You guys don't understand. She even looks different. You guys talk about me and how much I've changed and the weight I've lost. Just from the time she was here, was it 5 weeks or so ago? Not even just about 2 months. She looks so much brighter. Her skin looks clear and looks like she's been doing some detoxification, some decompressing. Her hands fly. I was like, who is this? What's going on? So whatever's going on the inside is definitely reflecting on the outside, Madon. And I want to let you know I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
For just, really doing the work. And this is what we talk about on this channel, doing the that a lot of us are skittish about doing, but today we're gonna find out LaDawn has quite an adventurous journey. So she's moved from Mexico to Panama within a couple of months, and she is planning to return to Merida. Welcome in, Cynthia. Um, so first of all, before we get into this whole move thing, would you share with us who you are, where you hail from, a little bit of your background, so we can get to know? Well, you're my girl, Cynthia, but the rest of everybody can get to know who you are and what you do for a living.
Yes, I will. How am I coming through on sound? Am I good?
Excellent. You are no
Awesome.
buffering. You are clear.
Because I was
Very.
coming on the Tia Nikki channel, soon to be taken on a major network. So I want to make sure I'm here. Tia Nikki, thank you so much. My name is LaDawn.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes, I'm just like, come on now, own network, home improvement, Chip and Joanna,
Oh, I
somebody,
like it.
whoever's watching, this needs to go out to the
Bless your
masses.
heart.
When I
Bless
tell
your.
you,
And just so you guys know, she is in Panama, so there may be buffering. I'm in Mexico. We're doing this with Wi-Fi air travel for real. So she may come in and out. Just please be patient with us, please. And I've noticed that the sound keeps going. So even if you freeze, we still hear you.
okay, good. My name is LaDawn Townsend, and I'm from Los Angeles, California. Born and bred Valley girl, very proud of my home state. Um, I'm so honored to be here tonight and to share my story. My intention, and then I'll share with you a little bit about who I am and what I do. My intention is to support this community because it has given me so much. And also to make those of you that are open to it a bit uncomfortable for your good, to be able to prepare you for an amazing journey ahead. And for others, just to maybe have something to think about. So, as a profession, I have my own company. I'll be celebrating being a bootstrap, from the ground up, no funding business owner for the past 10 years. And my company, the Story Group, what we do is we help leaders to lead organizations that drive revenue, make impact, build a culture, all through the leadership building their own narrative. My methodology called Shed the Suit helps them take off the suit from yesterday to really navigate the world of today. And so I've been blessed to do that for 10 years now and serve clients around the globe. And before that, I worked in corporate America as a fixer in the banking and tech space. And that's the professional side of what I do. If we had time to sit down over a cup of coffee, I would share with you my personal story of having to overcome trauma, having to overcome financial loss, disappointments, all of the things that a lot of us don't openly talk about at the same time of pursuing a corporate career and having a business and having this mask on. And I finally decided to drop the mask. And so, if there's anything I can share with you from a personal standpoint, is that you may go through the fire. I had a friend tell me this, but that doesn't mean you have to smell like smoke. And that's a bit of my background
Come
of my
on.
story at the same time of building everything. And so, Tia Nikki, your words are so um, appreciated because sometimes what we're going through, we just pray it don't look like that, but we also push through because we know anything worth having is not going to come easy. And so that is who I am and sort of sums up my story. I'm a lover of history, a good cup of coffee, and traveling the world. And so that's who I am.
That is so awesome, LaDawn, and thank you for being transparent. Congratulations on your anniversary. Big ups. You know, we're in this game for a while. The one thing that the one thing that LaDon and I both have in common is the business aspect of having a business, growing a business, and maintaining a business to help us achieve these type of goals. So a lot of you all come to me asking about work from home or international jobs, whereas for LaDon and myself, we have pursued business ownership, right? Entrepreneurship, some things that you guys can look at. I encourage you. She came from corporate America. I came from corporate America. She from LA. I was in LA. The same cat. I'm telling you, we have more in common. All of us who are viewing everyone, we have more in common than we do different, right? So another a proof that you can overcome things um, really, really quickly. Thank you for sharing that, LaDon. So now let's talk about, and I did have a chance to meet LaDon when she came to Merida. Then she went to Panama. Now she's coming back to Merida. She's got big things going on. So we're gonna talk about all that. Okay. So, and I got my notes, y'all know I keep my notes. So, what were the key factors that influenced your decision to move from Mexico to Panama? And what did you find most challenging? So
Mm.
what made you go? Because you woke up one day and said, "I did it." I said, "Whoa!" She didn't tell me I'm getting ready to do it. She said, "I've already bought my ticket."
Uh, so, well, to give some context to that and to help people understand, my journey and desire to want to live abroad is a 10-year experience. This started for me back in 2014. My first time I went, even before my first time I went to London, I just had this stirring that I wanted to live abroad. Had never been abroad, had never even been on a cruise at that point. And so that was a desire and a dream. You know, I had looked into moving into London before Brexit. I think that was around 2014, 15. An attorney I spoke to there, I joked that I probably could break the Guinness World Record of the most immigration attorneys you've ever spoken to, because there's just
Oh, I
things
love
you things you look at. So I was going to go to London. The attorney was basically like, "Please let Brexit get settled and give it 2 years on top of that." So I was like, "Okay." So for me, it was a desire, and then I knew I needed to build my business in order to support what I wanted to do. And so I was doing that piece of it and working. And then it sort of went on the back burner a bit. But then during the pandemic in 2021, South Africa had came up on my radar. I had been to Nairobi before the pandemic, loved Nairobi, was thinking about going there. The
Ooh,
logistics was a little bit
Nairobi.
more. The logistics, I mean, Nairobi, if you've never been to Africa, just find a place on the continent, step your foot in. And it was a very life changing experience for me. The day I landed at 2 a.m., I knew I was changed and I knew that I wanted something different for my life. So Nairobi didn't work out, but I still kept working the day to day, having this prayer and desire of where should I go. And so it was last spring that the desire came back up again. You know, I was getting to a place where I couldn't move before because my consulting business was very, it seemed consuming, but I needed to shift my perspective as a business owner and a CEO. Do you want to have a company, or do you want to have, do you really want to do this thing, or do you want to be a solopreneur? And so I was working through those things. And so last summer I thought, you know what, I really want to make this leap. um, my reasons for doing it was just I love living abroad. I know people have different reasons. But that was really just it for me. I love the travel. I love people. I love the culture. And I've been everywhere. I've been a lot of places. I've been to India. I've been to parts of Africa. I've been to London, Portugal. I mean, all of it is just really exciting for me. And so last April, I started becoming serious about when can I do this? Where can I do this? And I started cutting back things in my life and in my house. The first was getting rid of stuff. I mean, outfits I hadn't worn,
It's
stuff
got to
I didn't
go.
need, setting up financial
It's
things
got to
and bank
go.
accounts and all the stuff. And so that was the first thing. And then I think it was last summer or maybe the fall, I started hearing about, I was so gung ho on just South Africa. And for me, relocating to a place has to be smooth. And I love South Africa. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out. I'll go visit there one day, but it was really complicated. So this is how I got to Merida. So I think it was last fall. I had a really good girlfriend tell me, I called her up one day and I said, this is just feeling really overwhelming and complicated. And I was trying to get like 2 years worth of savings in the bank. Now, I'm not saying don't get savings, but I was so extreme with it that it was not helping the process. Right. And so she had told me, she said, LaDawn, just look at one other place. Just look at, you want to go to Europe. Where else can you go? So I came across Portugal and I came across Our Black Utopia. Shout out to Halisi and Rick. And
And Rick, right
just, I
on.
mean, amazing people that just gave so much love to their community. And through that, I came across an interview that Cortez did. And then I think I came across an interview you did with him. And so I'm like, what's
Yes.
Merida, Mexico? And I had never been to Mexico. I'm from
Sound
LA.
like me. What is a Merida?
I had never been to Mexico and I lived in Los Angeles most of my life. So I don't know how that I didn't get there. So I started looking at Merida and I compared it to Mexico
Juju.
City, Baja, Tulum, Cancun. But there was just something that seemed really peaceful about Merida. And I learned about the soft landing place. I didn't know that was a thing. And it started to feel doable. And I don't know, it just was the next step. So then within that time, before I came to Merida and I found your channel, I visited Portugal, I went to Florence, Italy, loved those places, but it didn't feel like a soft
Lawrence.
landing. And so that was earlier
Yeah.
this
It was
year.
like a visit.
It
Place
was
to
it
visit.
was it was a lot to have to do the shift, right? And I was at a place where I just wanted to go. I was ready to go. And so I think it was around May. I did my first trip. I went to Guadalajara and spent some time with some friends there. And before I left for Guadalajara, I booked a call with Tia Niki because I just didn't know why, but I just, after watching her videos and feeling the authenticity, and I just said I was stuck in my head actually, Tia Nikki, because I was making it more complicated than it had to be. And so I said, even if I just get some coaching from her on this call about mindset, I'm happy with that. But we had that. So I went to Guadalajara and stayed for a week. It seemed very doable. We did regular life stuff, grocery store. When I go to places to look to move, I don't do the touristy stuff. I do minimal touristy stuff. I do the everyday stuff. And I don't even really hang out with a lot of expat groups because in the beginning, I just want to see what's the everyday, right? And so I got back from Guadalajara. I was fired up. I had a call with Tia Nikki. And I think within like the first 15 minutes, she set me straight where I needed to be in my mind and to get my confidence back. Because sometimes, as women, seasoned women of a particular age, especially when you've had your own business, you've worked in corporate, you've taken some blows and some hits to your self esteem, to your confidence.
Ooh.
And
Ooh, honey.
and I am very open now in talking about that because there's not a shame in it. But sometimes you can stay. One of my favorite books talks about a place called Lodabar. And there was this man who lived in Lodabar, and Lodabar was like the lowest part of the valley. And it was time for him to come out of that low part. And I needed to come out of a low part of my life, but I had these hesitations. So my call with Tia Nikki, she set me straight. I told her, I said, give me a few days. I called her a week later, was like, I'm coming this date. Like, let's just get it going. And so that
Yes.
was that was the beginning. And so the draw for me is I always have a desire of where I know I want to end up, but I needed to take a first step. And taking the first step into Merida, and specifically Merida, because I trusted what she said about it being almost spiritual and relaxing. And I needed a bit of that. Now, I'm an A personality, conquer the hill, driver. Like, I love that type of stuff. My RPM is probably at 200. That's my gear. I love
I
that
love
gear.
it. Not the RPM.
But
I love that description,
sometimes
RPM.
sometimes you need to recalibrate, as I tell my clients. And I felt in, I'm at a place where I can trust myself enough to know when to go. So I got to Merida, um, was such a vibe. I don't think I've ever rested that much within a few days or took afternoon naps like that. The people were so kind. Tia Niki held my hand on every single thing, and I was there a few days, and I said to myself, well, what about Panama? Let's let's just go see. Because the way I look at it is you can always come back to Mexico. I mean, as long as you acting right, and your papers are good. And so,
You can always come back.
and because Tia Nikki had helped me to get some confidence back and to remind myself of who I am and not feel like I'd be judged. Just, I mean, I found she showed me some amazing apartments, her and her team. And I just knew inside I needed to go to Panama. And I'll share with you what's happened since I've been here, that I feel so comfortable with the release that this was a divine appointment. This wasn't a long term appointment, but I didn't know.
Mhm.
But I trusted myself to say, I'm going to go and see. I'm covered and protected. It'll all work out. It'll be okay. And you're doing the logistical steps to do it. Sometimes I always say, not that you want to test God, but if you asking him to do something, you need to get on the field, put your pads on, get in the game,
That ain't
because it's not going to happen in the
game.
sidelines. And so that's just
Right.
me and my motto for life. So I called Tia Nikki one day and I said, oh, there's a bit of change in my itinerary. I don't know how to start even saying it. And she was, as Tia Nikki is, was so supportive, because I remember in that consultation, what shifted for me is when you said, Merida could just be the place that you just are at until you get to the place where you want to go. And I just remember saying that. And the second thing I remember she said is, you don't need to tell everybody your business. Like, you don't ask permission. Because sometimes we do that in our excitement. We tell family or friends or colleagues, oh, I'm, thinking about doing this. And it's almost like a question. I didn't ask any questions. I told people, I'm leaving on this date. I'm going to Merida. And then when I was in Merida, I was like, nope, I'm going to Panama. But
Mhm.
when you are in alignment to your life, woo, the connections and people you meet will be on purpose. And so that is what brought me to Merida and then Panama. And I can tell you the rest of the story.
Beautiful. That's a lot, but it's so deep and it's true. And I was writing down notes as you were talking. I was taking notes. I think with you particularly being an A personality, I can identify coming from corporate, a kind of hard environment where you have
Yeah.
to have a tough skin. You got to leave your life at the door, leave your emotions at the door. Don't bring it inside. You morph and mask, as you talked about, into a different person. And I do think the softness of Merida brings about a balance. So if you're a strong personality, masculine energy, because we all have both,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, Merida does have a way of smoothing the edges
Yeah.
out and soothing the temperament, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you were able to find that here. And I love what you said about making statements and not asking questions to people who bring doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
You
also
got that, y'all?
there's not many people that really can understand this thing we're trying to do about moving abroad. And Merida and Panama, I know, is not even my final stop. I know where I'm going. And so you have to, not everyone can handle the bigness of your vision, and not everybody's supposed to know. because it'll immediately give you doubt. Even the strongest of us will be like, well, this is someone I love and I care about, and they're not, they're concerned in this and that. You have to know yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt, because when you move, it's you. It ain't everybody else. When you're making decisions of what house to get or apartment, it ain't let me get this big place and have extra space. No, what do you need for your life? And you start there. So that was really big for me. And I didn't realize how much I needed to grow in that area until I got on the plane to Merida. That plane right there was, I mean, you have to anchor yourself. I got to Merida the week a hurricane was coming in. Like, talk about
Yep,
a
you
fresh
sure
wind.
did.
I didn't know it was that fresh,
Yep.
that strong of a wind. And I'm staying at the hotel, and they were so gracious. And I was able to book an extra night, and I'm watching my resources. That's another thing. You can't do this if all you have is just X. You got to have a little flex room. You got to have some discipline of what not to buy and what all the things. And then to get to Panama and to rent a place here. And I mean, man, just talk about and running a business all at the same time, without skipping a beat,
All at the
without
same
skipping
time.
any deliverables, without and still doing what needs to be done. It takes an inner fortitude that I'm so grateful I did all of this.
It's amazing. And like I said, in such a short period of time, I see your evolution. And you've been in many places, but I think it's your attitude now, your openness, your courage that you talk about, to actually not only just see these places as a visiting place, but a place to live your life, to move around a little bit. I love the fluidity. So you guys, I talk about that all the time. People have moved on to Italy, Oaxaca, all kind of different places. Just you can drive here. Um, LaDawn mentioned these other places that are very far from home base, and how the move is more difficult
Yeah.
financially, physically, as we get older. Even if you have responsibilities, if you have stuff, what do you do with it? I have somebody that contacted me, possible client, that said they driving. So that's what we're talking about. And if she can drive back.
Mhm.
And once you get here and get a piece of the freedom, that's the inspiration to move on to what you really want.
Yeah.
Ask you a little bit about the cultural differences there in Panama. I do have two people. I don't, Anthony's not on. I don't see him, but he had interest in that. I think as well. We talked about that, and then I also follow another young man in Panama who shares a lot of social media pictures and things like that. However, I wanted to know the cultural differences. What are some of the unexpected experiences that you had or are having in Panama that you've encountered there versus being here for the shorter period of time that you were here?
Hmm.
Can you kind of delve into that? Like, what is are the things that are more challenging or less challenging, or the culture?
Yeah.
How do people move?
Well, I would say the Panamanian people are absolutely kind. The people in Merida were kind. And I'll say that I think the energy you give out is most of the time people, oh, I'm just reconnecting.
Absolutely.
But you also may get grace from people as well. So I found the people were
Mhm.
absolutely amazing. But also a part of it, and you talked about this, Tia Nikki, when you're thinking about moving to Merida, is your dollar in peso can go really far, right? So I'm from LA. You can't get, I don't know, like a house for under,
Okay.
maybe what, 3,500, 4 grand a month. So sometimes when you go to Merritt and you're like,
Right.
I can get this for 1,300, I can get this for 1,800. So you start looking at that. And I would say from a cultural
Mhm.
aspect, the people are just as kind and just as nice. I love the people. I was spot on with both places. And I don't speak Spanish. Mia español básico poquito por favor. That has been something I've been saying all the time. But people were very kind, very warm and wanting to help me. My decision about Panama was to remind myself of what was the true intent and desire of moving abroad, and where did I want to go,
Mhm.
and looking at a plan. So I'm a project manager by trade. I like to look at plans, but I had to really sit and talk to myself and check myself on what's the goal, Don? Is the goal to make this a home, which I thought it was going to be? I started like when really my first week here, I spent on grocery stores, getting cell phone set up, cable set up, bank accounts, trying to get that set, like the life stuff. And
Mm.
in that process, it wasn't as smooth as I wanted. It was a bit more complex in some of the things, and that's just because that's the requirements here. But when I started looking at life overall, and
Mm.
I was looking at real estate, and do I want to buy something? And yes, the dollar is they're on the dollar here, and it's less. It brought me back to what is your objective? My objective was always to be in Europe. I love Europe. I love Portugal. It's such a vibe there, but I knew that that would be the next step. So when I sat down with myself, and I always believe you need a vision and a target for your life. So when I had my vision meeting with myself and said, is this in alignment? Or could
Love
we,
it.
in the interim, while we're waiting on where to go, is there a place where it's just as livable, but it's less? Right now, maybe not everyone's looking at that, but I will say there's a lot of people in the expat community around the world that have talked about when Americans leave and we think, oh, well, I can get this penthouse for only $1,800 and this and that, where this cost of living would cost me 5 grand and I can get it for 3 grand here.
Mhm.
When you really think about it, is that your long term stay? And for me, one day I realized it just wasn't. My desire was another place. And so, but while I was here, within the first 2 weeks, the people I met and the conversations I had and the connections I made were things that I hadn't even spoken really out loud. That's how I knew it was a divine assignment for me. People that were
Mm.
helpful, people that spoke into my life about something that I knew it was a divine assignment. So I'm always looking for those little whispers, I call them, from God to put us on a direction and path. And there were some things that didn't necessarily work out where I was staying. And so when you look at all that, in that, I had to make a decision and to be confident to say, Dawn, you can either stay here and just ride it out, or
Mhm.
you could
Or
make a different plan and shift and be confident in your decision, regardless of what anyone says. And that's when I reached out to T. Nikki was like, well, just want to ask you if you know some
right,
Airbnbs in
right.
Merida, because Merida is a place where you can just plan and just be while you're in it. So I think that it wasn't necessarily cultural differences for me. It was more on a lot of lifestyle things that didn't fit exactly
Mhm.
what I want in the long term. And so from a lifestyle perspective, it felt the same as Merida. So I just decided, well, let me just go back to Merida while I work on what my plans will be. And Merida is a really nice healing place as well. And I think some of us A personalities, or even if you're the most reserved person, but you have the privilege of being in pressured positions of having your own business or in a corporate
Mhm.
position, it's really nice to be in an environment, an area where you can recalibrate and refresh. I mean, I love Merida so much. We're planning on doing a
Absolutely.
workshop for our clients there later this year, because the experience that they'll feel, I believe, there will really help them in what we do. So that was sort of what happened, what the differences I say would be.
And that's substantial to me. The financial part, because we're in the same. I mean, I'm older than LaDon, but we're all in the same Gen X. A lot of Gen X's are now looking at retirement and looking at their savings and looking to change their lives. We are a new type of set, right? With the boomers had the 50-year job and they retired and got pension. And
Mhm.
then, they went to Florida. So we trying to
Mhm.
go further than Florida.
Yeah.
Gen X wants out, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of millennials too have reached out to me as they're watching us, right? change our future, change the direction of our past. So I'm glad to hear that there were many cultural shifts, that the financial aspect was seems like the most significant impact to your decision because you're like, I can do what I'm doing in Merida a little bit better than where I am. Don't be scared, guys, to make that change, to shift it. So we have some questions that I want to ask right quick
Sure.
from Sabir. He has some questions. Where's my handy dandy mouse? So his first question one, Panama City. If in Panama City, do you find that it's easier to navigate the language aspects of Panama as a Spanish speaking country? So, communication wise, I think he's saying, is it easier there to navigate, getting an Uber, making an order, or do you think it's parallel to Merida where you still have to
I
exert
think
a
it's the
little bit of
same.
effort?
Yeah, for someone who knows, when I say little, I mean little. I felt like it was the same, and Google Translate is still my best friend.
Amen. Amen. We got one other question from Sabir. He says, as a project manager, are you also in the agile side of product delivery for your clients, or do you work remote in a PM role? I'm looking to do something similar as a software project manager.
I have my own firm. So we are a leadership development firm that focuses on the development piece. And I switched out of the delivery element a while ago. What I would say, though, is in Panama, so this is really interesting. But I'll say from overall, from a business perspective, nothing has dropped a beat or anything because that's priority. I love my clients and I want to take care of them, but there's some things you have to be prepared for. Like I knew the first few days here I wasn't going to have Wi-Fi. I needed to go to an alternate location to have the Wi-Fi to get that set up. My VPN had a bit of a issue, so I needed to work that through. So from a technical standpoint, we made sure all that's done. But what I will say from a business perspective, and you even to tie on what you were saying, Tia Nikki, about people who are going to be retired, here's my viewpoint on money. And this coming from working in banking for so long and helping people, if you have a skill, I believe it is your responsibility to be able to leverage that skill to make money. Now, we're living in a time and space, and one of my mentors always talks about this, is that when we say we have enough money, do we really? And so we're in such a time,
Mhm.
even when I started my business 10 years ago, digital marketing was not what it was. There was no Fiverr, Upwork. And so what I find is when you're moving abroad, and I'm even starting to add some of this into my branding, because outside of close family and friends, nobody knew that I have this passion to live abroad. They know I do a lot of international work. So what I'll say is, if you have a skill set, look to freelance. I was talking with someone the other day, and they said, "Well, can I move to this country and get a job?" You know, as foreigners coming in, most of the time it's hard for us to get work permits because it takes away from local jobs here. Same thing we talk about in America. Same conversation. So I would say market yourself as freelance work. I met a gentleman here in Panama. He worked for the mines, and he was in process
Mm.
design and delivery. An expert. And he was my Uber driver. We just started having conversations because the mine closed. They laid off everyone. He said I had to provide for my daughter, so he's taking that skill set. And I shared with him about freelance work, and he's getting on Upwork. So we have, from the West, we're very privileged because we know a lot of this stuff. So if you have a skill set, I'm telling you, do something to have a freelance of something on the side to build a savings account, an emergency account, a bigger account, whatever it is, because there's never enough when you really think about it. So that's my answer to that. Ooh, a lot of questions are coming in.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so I want to go back to this question for I am royalty. And it was addressed to me, and I think this is right to tag along onto what you're saying. I with the corporate thing. They instilled in us infrastructure. We know infrastructure. We know how to build a
Yes.
model. We know how to manage people.
Yeah.
We know how to manage projects. These are the skills that they gave to me before they let me go, before they laid me off. So they not only gave me a severance, they gave me a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
Use it before you lose it. Use it before you lose it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a young guy. I had somebody email me and they were like, I'm getting older. I do manual labor. I work in a warehouse or I work in UPS and my body's getting tired.
Yeah.
So now even these people are looking to transition into the digital format
Yeah.
because we're getting older.
Hmm.
So these it's very important that you take advantage of that. Now, I am royalty asked, why is it so little to almost no black businesses in Merida? Is kind of discouraging me. The first thing I want to say is I truly understand. Thank you for your question, and I'm trying to encourage you by letting you know that we out here. We out here. Nicole has a urban addict. She has a storefront that sells clothes and purses and shoes. There are a lot of black people like me. Lon, we are the face of that to let you know we are here and it's starting. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
You the first one on the timeshare. What you talking about? Right?
Yeah.
So this is the time we are building. That's what we're saying. Come with it because there's a community that needs it and we don't have it because we need more people like LaDawn, people like my girlfriend who makes jewelry. I got another young lady, she makes soaps. All of this stuff. We had Alberta Soul Food Kitchen here with the collard
Hmm.
greens, macaroni and cheese, all of that. They had to go back to the state. So just imagine if we had somebody step up into that spot. They
Yeah.
made very good money and they also fed really hungry black folks. We wanted they sweet tape
Hmm.
and they delivered. So there is an open market with very little competition
Yeah.
in Merida. You just got to come do it. The reason why it's not big is because we need people to come do it. We need more of a presence, more marketing. That's why I'm working with a marketing team so that other people can see
Yeah.
what's available, what you can do. There's also a business hub in Central where they get together and do business marketing together on the weekend. So there's a lot of things going on in Merida, and I think it will only increase. It will only grow.
Yeah.
Everybody that's viewing is a part of that. It's a part of the success. So I hope I answered your question. Wait, Mark. So I have a really good question for you. I want to know what were some of the crucial factors in deciding to relocate from one country to another? We talked about the financial part, but I wanted to dig more into your personal. We talked about professional, good for business, to grow my business. But, and you talked about this part that I want to bring back up. And I talk to everybody about it. When you go here, the vortex that you fall into and the energy that pulls
Yeah.
you in and how you feel it and your shoulders drop and your teeth unclench. Did you have a similar experience? I like to know from other people, did they see what I experienced? Because it was a complete decompression that I went to and a release of like a
Yeah.
lot of toxins. Was this the only place that you felt that, or was it other places that you feel spiritually connected to?
I think that there's a few places I went to that I felt that, and it was, I believe, stair steps for me to have a conversation with myself about what type of life did I want and the business I wanted. And so when I went to Portugal, for example, that really opened my eyes because I loved Portugal, sweetest people ever. I love the food. But also, I remember the list of things that I wanted. I wanted more mobility. I wanted things more walkable, day to day things. Those are things you got to think about, right? So when
Hmm.
I was in Merida, Merida helped me to be able to shift my thoughts on what is it that I really wanted. And I wanted more peace and time, was really the biggest piece I wanted. When I came to Panama, I was driving from the airport here, and I had such a shift of what I knew I was going to do in my future for myself and my business that I was absolutely clear. There's just moments in your life, well, for me, where I just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is what I'm going to do. And that's what I shifted into. So I did have those spiritual experiences outside of Africa. Africa was the spiritual experience, which I think everyone needs to experience and go. If you're thinking about going
I
to
thought
South
maybe that
Africa,
was.
yep. I think if you go to South Africa, check out the real South Africa on YouTube. Amazing people, shows you the inside of things we don't typically get to see about South Africa. But I also knew I needed some different things just for my lifestyle of what I wanted from a long term perspective. And so I just kept those things in mind.
I got you. See, and that's what I tell you guys. Merida has a way of having pretty much what you need here. If you want the fast city life, it has that. If you want to be in a rural area, it has that. However, it may be something more that you're looking for, and don't be afraid to go after it. Use Merida to learn
Yeah.
the Spanish. Just like the jobs you've been at and you collected this knowledge and experience, do that here. Take that, get your residency, learn the language, make a long term goal. And that's what we're going to talk about next with LaDawn, her long term goals. She talked about Spain and coming here to get it together, to put it in perspective, get a plan in order to save some money. Merida is a perfect place to clean up your credit. I came in because you can make the on time payment because your rent is low. Little things like that make a difference. You can pay a little extra to pay off the interest on the loan or on the credit card. So, and that builds your credit. You can use the money from the state to kind of support your journey along the way. So tell us, LaDawn, what is coming? You like I tell you, girl, you unpredictable. I don't know. And the plan could change. We got to keep up with LaDawn because things can change, honey. So tell us what you foresee in the future for you and your business, and then I want you to share some information about your business.
Yeah. So I have been blessed to be able to work with clients around the globe. And at one point before the pandemic, we were looking at opening up and expanding offices into two countries, into the UK and India. But then the pandemic happened and the world changed and business changed and how our clients wanted to deliver work. So we are expanding into Europe next year. I'm really excited about that from a personal life perspective and also a business perspective. And for me, my viewpoint of where I go is a bit different. Like I love the beach and the water. I love that. I don't know if that would be a permanent everyday for me. I love the energy of a city. I love discussions about commerce and leadership and marketplace, not politics, but leadership. And so that's a big part of my drive of what I love to do. And so the areas that I look to go to need to foster that and have that same opportunity. Because I mean, I love a good going out to dinner like everyone else. I can only do that so many times, like a month. Like that's not a big driver
Exactly.
for me. You know, one thing I love about
Right.
Tia Nikki is she's a friend that I call a deep water conversation friend. Like I have a few of those where it's intentional conversation about that type of desire, about what are we doing, holding each other accountable, even if we don't do it. But it's you just get into a space where people where you're like, I'm not going to be the weak link. I'm not going to be the weak link. I'm not going to be the one talking about one day I'm going to do it. Those are the people I like to have
Hmm.
in my close inner circle. And along this journey of looking to move abroad, I really have found that. And it also really helps me with my clients as well. You know, my clients, when I talk to them and teach them my methodology called Shed the Suit, which is helping them come out of this intellectual blocks that we have, sort of like a triage. I, for years, looked at we've done events at different places in Miami Beach because the environment matters when you're trying to recalibrate yourself. And so wherever I go to, I also look at, can I bring my clients there? Is this something that they would enjoy? So it just depends on what you want. I think our lives are not one dimensional, they're multifaceted, but you first have to know what you want for your life. If you just want to retire, hang out, and be at the beach and go to dinner a few times a week, I mean, that's great if people want to do that. I know the purpose and the mission and the call that I have. It may sound exhausting to some people, but I love what I do and the life that I am blessed to live. And so I keep my eye on what my life is. And I'm very cautious about conversations I'm in, groups I'm in, people I'm in, because of the energy that feels that. And so when you do that, even with Tia Nikki for how she started her channel, I remember what really drew me to her is when she did an interview and shared how she was homeless and her mom, like she had to find housing for her. I was like, I don't know what this woman does. I am a soldier. I am a fan. I'm going to support her because I understand what it takes to build something and to be transparent. And so, though I'm just at a season of my life where I think Deion Sanders talks about it, where it's game time. Like it is game time, showtime, because I believe there's been a shift in the atmosphere. And there's a window of opportunity for those that have the skill set, the discipline, and the capacity, and they're opening themselves to receive more capacity to fulfill this desire and this dream of whatever it is you want it to do. And I believe for many people, it's in the marketplace. I believe that there is money that is waiting for people. There are clients waiting to get a solution that only you have, but they
Absolutely.
are not going to come with the excuses that we give ourselves of the one day or maybe this. You just don't even need to talk about it. I see
Mm.
this meme a lot where I'm not even making announcements, I'm just making moves. Like, let your move be the announcement of what you were planning and doing. And that's the biggest
I
piece of
get
it,
that.
because also, and I'll share this, and not to make anyone uncomfortable, but we live in a world of light and darkness. And if you don't think that there is darkness that's going to come and try and invade your life with all these plans you want to do and sharing it with Bob and Sally and belligerent Bob and negative Nancy, they're belligerent and they're negative and they're not into your things. So
That
we're
part.
here feeding our dreams and our desires, and we're putting it into the atmosphere. You have to be careful with that, because there is always something that is going to try and
Absolutely.
sabotage. So find your plan, find your one or two people that you are close to, you can really speak to. And I trust me, I have people who do not get what I'm doing. But there's a difference when someone doesn't get it, but they love you enough to stand with you in agreement on it, versus say they support you and then say, I don't think it's going to happen for her. That is an immediate
Sabotage.
disconnect that you have
Exactly.
now given a door and window for darkness to come into, to cause division in friendships and relationships, and to plant seeds in your mind. So don't make announcements, just make moves. Everyone here is a grown person, grown with a capital O, so you can make the decisions. And even I remember when I booked my trip to come to Merida, like I love watching the YouTube videos. I have the favorite people I watch, but there came a point where I not that I didn't want to watch it, I was focused on what is the life I'm about to create. So I didn't have time to go and watch it because I was so focused on what's the life I want. And when you get to the place of where you go, what will your life look like? So for me, my first few weeks here, I met new friends, and then they ended up going to different countries and stuff. And so I started saying, what is my daily life? You have to have a life. Get past the touristy stuff, look past all of the glitz and glamour. What does your everyday life look like? How do you get groceries? How are you going to pay your bills? Is the bank process easy? How do you get money? How do you get around town? Where's the pharmacy? Where's the doctors? What's your life going to look like? Are you going to go to the movies? Do you go out to dinner? What's your life going to look like? And that is just what I kept front and center in mind. But I believe we are in a window and opportunity for those that are courageous enough,
Yes.
bold enough, and have the gall to tell adversity, not me, not my family, not today. I'm going to go after what I know is for me and build. And who knows what's on the other side? But I am not going to
Mm.
waste my breath on where I live. And that's how I am and how I drive. And just making this leap and step, I'm even more fired up about the life that I want. My a family member told me and they've known me for like forever since I was a teenager. And they said, LaDawn, what I love about you is you pursue your peace. You pursue your purpose like ferociously, mama bear.
Somebody.
And I didn't realize I do that, but I guess that is what I do. And I would just say for everyone here, you have to
Love it.
pursue it and move into what's the plan? When's the date? Do we pull the trigger and execute? How am I going to get it done? And not everybody has to do it. I hear a lot of people say, I'm going to wait till I retire, I get my pension. If you really do the numbers of how much it's going to cost you to live, Tia and Niki can break that down for you for Merida. Do you really need to wait, or are there things you can liquidate, make moves, and do it now? Because we say we're going to wait 2 or 3 years, but who's to say that things are different or will be the same? How about what can I do now? What can I do today? What can I do in 90 days, 6 months, the next year? That's the people I want to talk to. When we talking about 5 years, we don't know. Mexico may close its door in 5 years. You may not even have a visa. You know what I'm saying? They may stop printing passports, or companies, or like one country I just found an amazing visa and I jumped on it. I said, I don't even need to come visit first. Let's just get the visa done because they may change it. And that does happen a lot. So I don't believe in a one day I'm going to do something. I believe in what can I do today to make moves and steps towards what my goal is. And I think a lot of people, when just in 10 years of this looking abroad and moving abroad and thinking about it, there's a lot of people, you have to come out of the the romantic part of it, and you have to come into the tactical logistical piece to be like, okay, is this really what I'm going to do? Because staying in the romantic part for so long, I think doesn't give us the full reality of what it's going to take. And to be,
Absolutely.
I don't know how many times I messaged Tia and Nikki and was like, you have to really be anchored to move around the world just with things that come up, and accommodations may not come through, or a flight might be more. When I left the US, I had two large suitcases when I went to Merida, and they were overweight, and it would have cost me like $500 just an overweight fee.
I
So
remember.
at the
Yes.
airport, I donated a lot of stuff at the airport. And then when I got to Merida, I don't know what happened, but my bags were wet inside. And so I'm going through the claim, and I lost electronics, and I lost clothes, and stuff was
Wow.
molded. And, then I get to Panama and it's I mean, all of the things that you have. And as a person who loves furniture and clothes, there is a freedom I have where I have two suitcases. Just for now, this is the season, but it really made me think about what's important of what I spend my money and time on. I just think we're in a go season, people. We're in a go. No, don't think about it. Don't overplan. And I'm an overplanner, but we're in a go season because there's this window I just sense in the atmosphere that's available for people, for those that really go for it.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I believe there is an urgency afoot. I definitely felt it when I left the States. I knew I was divinely driven to come to Merida. It was almost a decision that was made by the gods, and I just followed the plan. I think you all, some of you all, most of you all feel that same power yielding you to go somewhere other than where you are. Tracy says someday is not on the calendar, just so we know that. Thank you so much, Tracy. Someday is not on the calendar. Step on through. Temple says, step on through. So LaDon touched on a lot of subjects that we tackle on this channel. Definitely finances, because we are still in the working years. I think the lot of us, if we were getting a check, it would be a instant thing. Understood you. We just step into our greatness. However, we are, faced with challenges. Most of them financial, family. Cut the core courses about that. We're working through some of those things. Um, LaDonna also talked about showing up and getting a 5-bedroom house mansion because you were in something smaller and you start wasting a little money. I did it. I was in a 4-bedroom and then a 3-bedroom, and now I'm in a 2-bedroom. right? I made full circle because I was in a two-bedroom when I left the state. So less is more. I made a
Yes.
video about that too. Check it out. Um, I will say this that your journey has been full, and it's amazing to know that you're still on it. So more things that come from LaDawn. She will be here, and we won't have to do this remotely. She'll be right in front of me, and we're going to follow up on her after she gets here and sits here for a moment after she decompresses. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat for LaDawn before we give her back the rest of her day. Um, I wrote notes that I cannot read. I can't read them, but I wrote down notes. I wrote them too little. But I will say that another thing that she did, a consensus with most people that we talk to, that we interview, keep going, and if not now, when? There are hiccups or bumps in the road. That's life. Life be life,
Yeah.
right? So just keep going and pursue. How much money do we BIPOC community are the leading contributors to the income in the United States economy. We buy the most stuff, we buy the most food, the music, entertainment, and just thinking we took an eighth of that and put it in a jar somewhere,
Yeah.
put it in a savings account somewhere. If you need help, look at LaDon. That's what she does. So she's already creating an avenue for help how to budget. How many of us were taught how to do that? How many of us were taught how to invest in the stock market? How many of us were taught to invest in anything, including ourselves? Okay. So this is the time. The time is now. Nothing else exists but now. Um, that yesterday is gone and tomorrow give you too much stress trying to figure out. So today is the time to give away something, sell something, make one step towards your goal. Don't be scared. And if you are scared, do it anyway. Okay. You can do it scared. You have permission. LaDon, as she mentioned, also runs her own business. And she's touched on how her business has evolved through her journey. I want you to discuss your services, if it's anything that you can offer the Tia Nikki community, and share with us any type of support that you may need and any support that you can offer the group. A lot of people come to me with, can you help me do this? I make that. Any insight that you can give, because I love her professionalism and success. Dawn is very successful because that's who she be. That ain't what she do. She is success. Therefore, she breeds success, right? We are. I am. Everything you say should start with that. Before we go into that, we do have a question. Cynthia said, which visa did you use? Which one is that for, Cynthia? For do you have the visa yet, or she's still in the process, right? If that's not, is that correct, Ladon?
Yeah, so I look at countries where the US passport gives you more time. So in Europe, you can spend 90 days within 6 months. Mexico is 6 months when you're coming in. So I would there's a lot of different paths for people out there. And I know there's a lot of conversation about do this visa, that visa. Tia Nikki has an amazing attorney in Mexico that I spoke with that helped come up with a plan that fits my situation. So I love the fact that you can go there on your passport and check it out and see how you like it. I would highly recommend whatever country you're thinking of, or if you have a wish list, find a relocation specialist like Tia Nikki. When I spoke to her, she helped just answer so many questions I could not find answers to online. That was helpful when I paid for a consultation. The free stuff will only get you so far, and you have to watch if some of the free stuff is only guiding you in one particular service to buy. No shade on anyone's things, but you just have to know what that is. And then when I met with her attorney, she referred me to, that was so helpful to have that logistical part of the plan. So I would say, whatever countries you're thinking of, book a consultation with someone that you feel is reputable in those countries, because everyone's situation is so different. And that way you'll just know.
Exactly. That's very good information, Ladon. And you guys have asked me, and then I'm like, well, I got mama. So my thing is a little different.
Yeah.
You would come in under a different program, or you may have access to like a digital nomad visa,
Yeah.
right? You may have access to that depending on where you go. So I had a consultation with my immigration attorney before she became my girl. And so if you need, definitely book a consultation with me. I can give you that and many other resources. I have a course coming up on starting a business here and what you need to do in every step of the way. Every step of the way.
Yeah.
I even give you addresses where you need to submit paperwork, the physical location, the email address, the online site. Very, very specific
Yeah.
to Americans either transferring their business here or starting a business here in Merida, tax implications on
Yeah.
both sides of the fence, and what you need to do. So I'm working on it tirelessly. I've been making videos and I'm working on consolidating the information. It's not a long course, it's only 6 modules right on my website. And it'll take you right through, get you a certificate, and then we'll have a consultation afterwards to get you on the phone,
Good.
y'all.
Good.
You all are like, you know what all 41 of y'all remind me of? You remind me of the girl in the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy with the silver slippers. You already got the slippers on.
Yeah.
The magic's on your feet.
Yeah.
What you want, you already have.
Yeah.
Beloved, you just gotta, and no pun intended, tap into it.
There you go.
So you you gotta tap. Use the ruby slippers to tap into it. Diana Ross, the Wiz. Let's use that one. Tap into it because you have the answer right there. You already have it. So that's why I implore you all. My moderator sent me a picture with it written out on a. Send me a sticky note with 2 or 3 things, and I'm happy that you're getting something from the information on the channel and from our wonderful guests that we always have here. We have a question. Karen says, "Where you at an Airbnb in Merida, and if so, which one?" Oh, okay. So I can answer that for Karen. She was actually at Ebis when she came last time, but this time she will be at an Airbnb. If you need some leads on Airbnbs, please email me, Nikki at tianikki.com or Nikki in Merida. I have a list of Airbnbs that may work for you. I'm working with my realty collaboration and marketing team to get you more properties. We're gonna be doing videos. It's a lot coming, y'all. It's a lot coming. We'll be out into Cool too, which is the area where you can buy your lots. People wanted to know where to buy land. Click them heels, Lenora. Click your heels. Click them. Yes. So the last question to LaDawn, and we thank her so much for giving us such a wealth of knowledge. I felt like I've been riding a roller coaster with her. But the ride is good. I'm learning a lot through her eyes and seeing the world through her. Entrepreneur, welcome in. Entrepreneur Expat says, hello, Dawn. Um, Amanda Do. I don't know what that means, but that's Amanda and Justin here just showed
Oh,
up
those are
on
my
your
really
feed. Oh,
close
thank
friends,
you.
my biz bestie and her
Oh, they're here.
fiance. Hey, hey.
Oh, they're here with you.
Yes, yes.
Welcome. Welcome, Amanda and Justin. So glad to have you here. So the last question for LaDon is I want her to share the information as we aforementioned about a business, maybe how we can support her. Please let us know your websites and my mods, if you can put the website in for us. And let us know where we can find you, what we can do to support you, and maybe some of the offerings that you can give the Tia and Nikki community because we need them. We need all we can get for this journey.
I love it. So what I focus on helping leaders with after working in corporate America for 10 years, for 20 years and having my own business for 10 years is we focus on a concept that's called story driven strategy for your business. It is how do you as a leader create a plan that grows revenue, has a culture of employees that want to work there, as well as having a banging, just a stellar client experience, because that is the foundation of every business. And so through story driven strategy, we're focusing on storytelling to improve your business performance and to get you the foundation. It's a concept that I've been teaching for the whole 10 years I've been in business. And so we have some workshops that are coming up that will be you'll be able to come and actually learn this system and to be able to take it away. It's best for those that are C-suite executives that are in you're either a business owner or an executive, but you're also it's not for everyone. These are for people that have an existing business and you need to be able to fine tune it. If you're looking to start your own business, this can be helpful for you, but really it's for those that have their own business and we can work through the tweaks of what's not working. So that's the biggest thing. If you're looking to start your own business, depending on what it is you're looking to do, you're more than happy to reach out to me at LaDawnTownsend.com. I have a network of colleagues that I can refer to you depending on what you're looking for. But really, if you are in a position as a business owner or an executive for an organization or know of someone and they're needing to turn their organization around, that's really who we help and what our strong suit is. I also do keynote speaking, which I'm very excited about, all around storytelling and leadership. And that's what we do. So I am on all the socials at LaDawn Townsend. LinkedIn is the biggest one. I'm over at Instagram, not as much. But if you know of someone who is looking for this service, I would love a referral. Just send them to LaDawnTownsend.com. If you're interested in coming to one of our upcoming workshops, we will be having one in Merida coming up in November. We'll be having one in Madrid, Spain in February. Then you can certainly visit LaDawnTownsend.com, go to the contact page, or book a consultation and just let us know you're interested in reserving a seat to the workshop, and we'll get you that information.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is what we're talking about. We are in the process of building people. And the thing that I love about being here in Merida is that your competition is not that great. You can actually be seen. You can build your business here. You have plenty of expats that need it, that need the consultation, that need the services you provide, the products that you provide. So what LaDon and I are going to be working on is a venue where and her stuff I'm gonna if she allow me to transmit live from whatever she's doing, I'm gonna be there. So you guys can see it in person, can see it in the now. And what we want to do is continue to build a community of business. Merida is all about business ownership. You understand? These locals own all of the restaurants, all of the little shop, mom and pop shops are alive and thriving in Merida. This is not like the US where you got Amazon and Walmart, and the neighborhoods have been stripped of their character. It's a sovereign country, and you're able to sell and share your goods, your art, your creativity, your skills, your talents, your gifts, right? So think about that as you think about getting a work from home job. I know that that is something that you may need while you form your business. And take advantage of offerings. If you have a business and you need to tweak it and support what she does, go to her website. I put it in the chat, LaDonTownsend.com, and check her out on social media. I'll make sure I put all the links to all of her things in the comment section after we end the call. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Before we go, I want to thank Ron for sharing, yay, all of her knowledge with us, taking us on a journey. And if anything, reinforcing the fact that you can do it. You can do it. Um, click the heels, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do want to ask her one question that was actually sent to me from Lenore about traveling mailbox. In case you all, I wanted to address this on a public forum. So the traveling mailbox, if you go to travelingmailbox.com, it is a physical location, not a PO box. If you need something to come to you in the States, you're going to have to find somebody who can accept your mail at a physical location. That's one of the little speed bumps, the hiccups when you leave town. Now, we talked about the difference between relatives and family. So you may not be able to ask none of your relatives, but you may be able to find a family member and just ask if their mail can come there or use traveling mailbox So traveling mailbox works. They get the mail in a physical location. They scan it and send you a copy. You can let them know if you want it, and you can print it or they'll send it to you, or you can trash it.
Yeah.
So it's still on a digital format, except it goes to a physical location, and they have more than one.
Yeah. And
They
they're
have
very
several,
dependable.
right?
I've had them, been a client probably for 6 months, and
Mhm.
just really stellar service. Now, the key is whatever country you go to is figuring out how to get mail there. And so that's your key. So I keep my personal address, and we have an office that we keep everything, and then just figuring out all the other stuff. Um, so yeah, one thing I did want to share to you, Nikki,
Mhm.
with the audience is
Oh, we're gonna get to your last. We're
okay,
gonna get to
okay,
your closing remarks. Oh,
okay.
that's coming right now. I just wanted to address the try it. Look up similar services that may be able to help, but I know traveling mailbox is the place. And then you'll probably need a physical location in the States to receive something. Keep in mind that we do have DHL, UPS, and FedEx in Merida. My bank card expired and I had family, not relatives, family send it to me. It was $100 for one envelope, and because it was overnight.
Yeah.
If you do something 3 day, it's gonna sit in customs.
Mhm.
It'll sit in customs and it'll be even more expensive because it's gotta sit there for days. So the quicker you send your mail, the quicker you get it. Even though it might be $50, $100, if you let it sit in customs, it could be $200 or 300 over time.
Yeah.
So word to the wise, travelingmailbox.com. Okay. So I thank you all for being here with me today. I have had a wonderful time. Went a little bit over, but you guys have been concurrent. I appreciate you. And before we close out, we're gonna have a final word from LaDawn. She told me some things she wanted to talk about, and I waited for this moment for her to talk about. So she's gonna close with a beautiful message, and take it to heart. We are living examples of what you can do, beloved. Click them heels and take action today. If not now, when? The floor is yours, Ladon.
The biggest thing I want to share with everyone is, are you in a place where you have joy? Now, I didn't say happiness, not even peace all the time, but joy. And so for me, I realized that certain parts of my life, I put my desire on the back burner, and I started doing things that I thought I just should do. Well, let's settle down in, the suburb, and let's do this. And I just want to speak to the person that you just know you're different. You just know you're not wired like everyone. You don't get excited about everything. You can't even really do mundane, average chitty chat conversations. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's a life that is waiting for you. I heard someone years ago say, and I think it was in a song, where your future self is looking at you and cheering you on and saying, just keep going, because the life here is amazing. And so, in this whole moving
Mhm.
abroad and the romanticized part that I talked about, I think I got hung up in that for too long, but everything, all the timing works out as it should. But I want to talk to the person where you just know there's a different life for you. You know that what brings you joy may be different than what everyone else is. You may not know or have people in your family or your circle that can even phantom what you're looking to do. I want to tell you just to keep going. I want to tell you to put the steps in motion. I want to tell you to go for it, because it's the journey that brings the joy. It's the journey that you'll discover things about yourself and who you are. And if there's things about myself I didn't even know that I could unleash, or boundaries I needed to set, or no's I needed to say, or being comfortable. So don't wait. If you know, if your life is just boring And you just get tired of the Monday through Friday, Costco on Saturday, doing this and running here and there. There's nothing wrong with that. But for some of you, you know there's more. You have to have the courage to go after what's more, because you never know who you're going to meet on the journey. I didn't know meeting T and Niki would help me with this or give me a fire for that, or friends that I have that are traveling around the world or have moved from a different state to another state. So I just want you to know that there's nothing basic or average about you. And that if
Mm,
you want to be, Gary Vee talks about, if you have an employee that's a solid six, let them be a solid six. We need sixes in our company. Some of you are a 10 and you're afraid to step into being a 10 and being your power because it will ostracize you from people, because you've been told that you should have, that children should be seen and not heard. Oh, you think you're this.
mm,
Oh, you think you're that. No, you think I'm those things. I know who I am.
mm,
So some of you are afraid to embrace your true power because what if people don't like you, or what if you don't have a tribe or community? I'm here to tell you today that what if there's a tribe and community that accepts you for your ferocious, risk-taking, bold ideas, and that life gives you life. You have to go for it. You have to go for outside of the norm. You have to go for this crazy vision. If you've got Pinterest boards and vision boards and all this, you can make your life the vision board. And it doesn't have to take
mm,
forever. You can do it, but you have to take the step to pursue your peace. And the first way that you do this is you set some boundaries in your life of people that you know you probably need to set the boundaries with. You probably have some family members or friends that you need to block the number. You need to have a conversation about boundaries. And you're not doing that because you know they're not going to be receptive to it. And then you're going to get all of the anger and then all of the stuff. Maybe that needs to happen for you to set a boundary to respect yourself on a whole nother level, because the energy that you bring into these international rooms of wherever you go will be the same energy that you had at home. But when your energy shifts and it's different, I'm telling you, there's doors that'll open. There's experiences that you'll have. So don't be afraid to be the bad mama jamma that you are. I have zero apologies for my life, how I live it, for what's a yes, for what's a no, for who goes with me, for who doesn't go with me, because I know the joy and excitement my life gives me. And that is a
okay.
gift that everyone has available. And I wish that for everyone.
I love that. I love that. Be a bold ass. I love it. From the Leo herself. It's the Leo in her. She can't help it. Happy birthday to LaDawn, to her birthday. Either did I miss? I
I'll
didn't.
be in Merida. We can celebrate.
Oh,
I'll be
that's
in
right.
Merida.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's
Vinyl
in
Low,
August, so
baby.
she's
Vinyl
coming up.
Low is my spot.
She said, and Greta said, send her a mango from Panama. Greta wants you to fax her a mango from Panama, and she want wing stacks from Vinyl Low.
Greta
We're
is
gonna do
so
the best we
sweet. She
can,
got me
Greta.
some
She
mangoes.
getting closer.
I'm hooked on that mango.
Yes,
Mango everywhere.
yes, yes. So everybody's coming. We have our own community. You are not home anymore. Here is home, or wherever
Yeah.
you choose to be is your
Yeah.
home. You don't have to be defined by your environment. You're
Yeah.
bigger than that. You're bolder than that. Live your boldness. Live unapologetically. Do you?
Yeah.
Prove the naysayers wrong. They're gonna be looking at you with their jaw. You just be like, pick that up.
Exactly. That's
Pick that
exactly what
up.
they're going to do. And I'm so appreciative of everyone listening to my story. Just give me the time. You know, if you're listening to this and maybe my services aren't a fit for you, or maybe you're thinking about it, a gift you can give me is go over to my YouTube channel. I'm actually streaming from that now. Like and subscribe. I'd appreciate a
Oh,
like or subscription
oh
on the video.
yes,
It is
yes.
my
What's
business
the name of
channel.
your YouTube channel?
It is
What's the name?
It's the one I'm streaming from now. I should have the link with it. I'll come back after we're done and put the link in. But if you could like,
Okay, I can
subscribe,
see if I
like a
can pick
video
it
and
up.
subscribe, I appreciate that. And just stay connected. We have
Follow,
new
follow,
weekly
share,
episodes.
share.
Share. We have new weekly episodes coming out of my show called Shed the Suit, where we're talking with global leaders around transparency and leadership. So maybe you're at that position, it'll help you. Maybe you want to be there, it'll help you as well. But I would love the support. Thank you so much as we get this
I
message out
love
about
it.
the paradigm shifts that are needed in leadership in the marketplace, because the hierarchies of old are busted and disgusted, and we have to disrupt business models because these are people's lives. And one thing I didn't share is why I'm so passionate about this is when I worked in corporate America before I started my business, I found myself on a Friday afternoon being loaded onto a stretcher in my office, put into an ambulance, and taken to the emergency room because a client had noticed my words were slurring and they thought I was having a stroke. When I
Mm.
got to
Stroke.
the hospital, everything regulated out. My doctor told me it was stress. If you want to read more of this story, you can go to Inc. Magazine online, the November 2023 issue, and you can read my interview there. But that was the beginning of me saying, what is life? What is the pursuit of trying to make
Mm.
money? It's none of this. So Shed the Suit is going to continue to talk about that, give you some tactical tips on leadership and life and how to bring the person back into business.
I love it. I love what you're doing, LaDon. I love you. Thank you for being here. Just a wealth of information. Make sure you follow LaDon's YouTube channel, Engage. These are a lot of the tools and resources that we do need to shift. Greta mentioned in the comments, we're making a shift. We're at the beginning. I think we're at the crux of a revolution. There's a mass movement. Over 500,000, almost 500 people have moved from the United States to different places, not only Mexico. So you are not alone in the changes that you want to make. The things that you are seeing are real. The political arena is intensifying every day. I'm concerned about your well being. I want you to be as concerned and click the heels. Click the heels. Message for this. Keep going, click the heels. Stress is the number one killer, Lenora says. I appreciate the Sabir. I appreciate it. He said incredible message and energy. So if you found this content valuable, please, for people who are watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm all over the place. A big thank you to my marketing team who's getting me out there doing big time videos. We are going to keep up with LaDon's journey, honey. Things are just unfolding for her. I love the fact that she has such an open soul and she's willing to work for what she wants and knows she deserves. That's a huge message to all of us. Come on, Tracy, with the heels. She clicking the heels. You see what I'm saying? Oh, the chat is lit up. There is a replay of the chat. So for those of you I want to read through back, the comments are wonderful. The comments are wonderful. I don't think we have any more questions. Again, LaDon, I want to thank you from the center and the core of my heart for being with us today. You are such a beautiful soul. Your energy permeates through the camera. Your beauty does too. She has changed so much, y'all. She is getting her stride. You think she's something else now. Just imagine a little when she get it settled, when she get where she going, when she can plant some feet or continue to move around and share the love. We will always follow her journey. We're following Gretchen. If you guys want to be on the YouTube channel and talk about your journey and what you've done and where you've been and where you want to go, send me an email, tianiki at tianiki.com or tianiki at gmail, tianiki at Merida at gmail.com. If that is all we have, again, thank you, LaDon, for being here. I look forward to seeing you, girlfriend, when you come. And we all will catch you next Sunday. Next Sunday, we have our regular live, which I'm excited about. I'm going to find the topic right now. The topic is I got so many sticky notes, y'all. It's ridiculous. I got a million sticky notes. I found it. So next week's topic is people are leaving. Why aren't you?
Come on now.
Hello? People are leaving. Why aren't you? You gonna be there with the club when they turn the lights on and you really see how he look? Or you really see how he look? Cause she look. Get out now while the parking lot is still people there. You can leave early
Come on
and
now.
not have to stand in line to get out. Okay? People are leaving. Why aren't you? If not now, when? Okay? Things to keep in mind. So thank you, LaDon. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We appreciate you in. Thank you for LaDon's friends, Amanda, and the crew that came by and saw the live and came in and chatted with us. We appreciate the chat. Escape the USBS 2024. Sabir said it's in full effect. If you need me, you know where to find me. Have a wonderful day and a blessed week. I will
Thank
see
you,
you
Tia
all
Nikki.
next time. You are welcome, girl. I will see you next time on Tia Nikki in Merida. Peace. Good night, LaDawn. Thank you.
Night, love. Bye.
I got to see how to turn it off. How we go? Will it go round? Or will it go round? How I turn it off here? Button. I found it. Oh, I can add a guest. It's all kind of things going on. I see the button. Bye, y'all.